Aloha friends and colleagues. Tonight's a very special day, and I am so glad that you could be here tonight to celebrate with me. Tonight, we're celebrating Invenio Legal Studio's 2nd anniversary, and also the publication of my latest article on copyright and artificial intelligence, which was just published by the American Association. Now, when I sought to create Invenio Legal Studio, I literally spent months really defining the mission and philosophy of the firm. The clientele that we represent are people and organizations who provide meaningful enrichment in our lives. We're talking about visual artists, we're talking about authors, musicians, cultural institutions, independent filmmakers, and other nonprofits. I wanted this firm to resonate with those people, to build a firm where those people would feel at home. Now, there is one common thread among my clientele, and it is this. It's creativity. The things that nourish our spirit, help us relax, help us to create happy memories, or just help us to pass the time in enjoyable ways are the types of projects my clients do. I often use this example with people who are new to my firm. If you think about all of the things that you surround yourself with that bring you joy, think about your favorite songs that put you in a good mood. Think about the artwork and ornamental trinkets that decorate your home and your office. Think about the first novel you've ever read. The movies and TV shows that you enjoy watching. Even photographs. The one thing that all of these things have in common is that they all existed in someone's mind. They all existed in the human imagination before they were brought into this world for others to enjoy. And that's what we at Invenio Legal Studio do. We're a different kind of firm. We don't do cases. We do projects. We don't give bland, sterile, detached legal advice. Yes, we identify the potholes in the road, but we actively work to find solutions that are just as creative as our clients' projects. We actively engage with our clients and become their thought partner as they work through their projects. We are what I like to call legal alchemists. We take thoughts and turn them into things. Things that others can experience. An idea for a documentary, for example. An idea for a business. An idea for a podcast. An idea to help others in innovative ways. We help our clients manifest their ideas into reality. And we help them bring the products of their imagination to life. And when the time comes, we protect their ingenuity and imagination to the fullest extent of the law. At Invenio Legal Studio, we're with our clients till the end of the day. Protecting human creativity is now more important than at any other point in human history, because right now human creativity faces an existential threat from the rise of AI. 3 years ago, news broke that an AI-generated image won first prize in an art contest in Colorado. And I began to think about what does this mean for human artists when an image generated from a text prompt can convey just as much emotion as the human imagination, so much to sway judges to award first prize to it. So that's what my first article was about. My first article examined the intersection of creativity. At what point does creativity arise, and whether machines are capable of creativity as well. I was one of the first lawyers to publish an article on copyright and artificial intelligence in 2023. And that article was titled No Ghost in the Machine on Human Creativity. And it's in, and I have a copy of it in the gift packs that accompany your seats. Now, my latest article, which is also included, follows up on No Ghost in the Machine to explain new guidance put out by the Copyright Office and to provide encouraging news about how the Copyright Office is reaffirming and supporting human creativity over AI technology, and why the Copyright Office is recommending that the legislature make no changes in the Copyright Act to accommodate for AI. Now, I enjoyed researching it and writing it, and I hope you enjoy reading it. But tonight is just as much about me as it is about you. It's about gratitude. Because many of you in this room have played a role in helping me to build this firm, and I'd like to thank you. I'd like to go alphabetically, and if you'd like to clap, I just ask that you please hold it until the end. So, Auntie Lauwa Cazimero. Auntie Lauwa is the wife of one of my beloved and departed clients, the late Roland Cazimero, who was half of the brothers Cazimero. Uncle Roland Cazimero had his own projects, and he had his own interests. And near the end of his life, I worked with Auntie Lauwa to help reclaim his copyright. We used a little-known and rarely used portion of the Copyright Act in order to reclaim his copyright from his record label. And we were successful. And in the process, I gained a new family member, my Hanai Auntie Lauwa. I love you, Auntie Lauwa, and thank you so much for your support. And Loretta Falco. Loretta is a gifted psychic, and she's the owner of Falco's Emporium and organizes the Kauai Psychic Fair, a semi-annual event on Kauai that brings the community together. Now, I've known Loretta in various capacities over the years, and some of you may know that once upon a time I was Loretta's boyfriend. And today she's a beloved client. And when we were together, Loretta steadily encouraged me to start my own law firm. In August of 2023, Loretta contacted me out of the blue and asked about retaining me. And I will never forget what she said. She said she needs a lawyer that she can trust. She needs a lawyer that she can trust. And someone who knows what they're doing. And that meant the world to me. Now, Loretta has been chosen as the new steward for the Kauai Psychic Fair, a fair that has been going on for 3 decades. The founder was retiring and passed the reins on to Loretta. Loretta sought to elevate the public's perception of her psychic community from fringe to legitimate and professional and credible. So we worked on a number of things within the organization, and one of the things that we achieved that is a code of conduct for her readers at the fair. And so now it's become an event that appeals to the mainstream community on Kauai, and it's something that the community is looking forward to. Now, the fair is taking place August 23 and August 24 in Inoue, and I'm really excited to share with you all that for the first time ever, the Kauai Psychic Fair is coming to Honolulu. It will be at the Hub in Kaka'ako on September 6th. I'm sorry, folks. It's going to be at the Hub in Kaka'ako on September 20th, and there's going to be readers from all different disciplines there, and I would love for you folks to check it out. So in your gift bags that you all received, you'll find a flyer for the Kaka'ako Fair, and you'll find a ticket for one complimentary psychic reading valued at $35, and it's my gift to you. So please go ahead and check it out. It's on September 20th. Loretta's available for psychic readings online and in person every Sunday at the Aloha Market, and she hosts other readers as well too. If you do check her out at the Aloha Market in Waikiki, you won't find another place that has a more eclectic selection of books on the occult. Loretta, you've helped me grow as a person, and I've been so thrilled to have you not only as my client but my friend. I'm very grateful for you, Loretta. Thank you truly. And for Following Journeys, over here, Following Journeys is a television show about how astrology can help entrepreneurs, and it's hosted by Inoue, book author, founder of Happiness U, the creator of Master Your Superpowers Personality Assessment System, and celebrity astrologer. I want to thank the entire Following Journeys team. Inoue, Mike Kosasa, Jason Suapia, Aaron Ujijima, Ryan Kawamoto, and Kyle Hamane. It's been such a pleasure to work with all of you on such an interesting project as yours, and I feel very blessed to be part of your team. And folks, I want to encourage you all, if you haven't heard of Following Journeys, the first 7 episodes of season 1 are on YouTube, and you can check it out. Just search for Following Journeys, and follow them on Instagram as well too. And I'm going to be on episode number 8 as well too. And folks, fun fact, in each of the episodes, you'll find a beautiful setting where the readings take place. And you'll instantly notice how well decorated it is. And that set was not created by any Hollywood set designer. That is entirely the product of Maya's creativity. And I feel so blessed to work with such a dedicated and creative and skilled team. Next is Vili and Jeannette Hereniko. Vili is a playwright, a filmmaker, and a professor. And Vili was my professor in undergraduate. Jeannette Hereniko is a film producer and is the founder of the Hawaii International Film Festival. Vili and Jeannette, I really appreciate you folks and all of the support that you've shown me throughout my career, from inviting me to gatherings and events, and allowing me to help you folks from time to time on your own projects. I'm especially grateful for your client referrals and for the confidence that you have in me to take care of your friends as well too. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing all the wonderful projects that you folks will come up with next. And next, I'd like to introduce you folks to Brian and Jeff Polishell. This is Jeff. Brian's in Las Vegas. But Jeff and Brian are brothers. They're restaurateurs and they're entrepreneurs. And one thing that I've always admired is that culinary arts is inherently creative. And if you remember Tokoname, Japanese restaurant in the Manoa Marketplace, it was their restaurant. Back in January of 2016, I was laid off, and Jeff and Brian hired me as a waiter. Knowing that I had no plans to stay for a long time and that I was actively looking for work, and they brought me onto their team and they hired me. And their generosity was a lifeline for me, because what it did was it gave me the luxury of buying time to really figure out where I wanted to take my career next. I've always been so grateful for that, because that was a very significant point in my life. That restaurant. Thank you very much, Jeff. Today, Jeff owns the Tokonami restaurant in Kailua, and it is the absolute best place on the island to get miso butterfish. If you love miso butterfish, Tokonami Kailua is the place to be, and their sushi bar is amazing. Jeff, that job meant more to me than you will ever know, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being, you were part of my trip. Thanks. And Melanie Ide, a woman who probably needs no introduction, because Melanie is an independent museum consultant and one of the most brilliant, dedicated, sharpest, and compassionate executives that I've ever had the privilege of counseling. Some of you folks may know that Melanie was a rock star museum exhibits designer in New York City. I'm a little bit behind on the slides, folks, my apologies. But yeah, Melanie was a rock star museum exhibits designer in New York City. And she worked on such prestigious projects as the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center, the Clinton Presidential Library, the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture, the Barack Obama Presidential Library, and New York's American Museum of Natural History. And we recently presented together in the American Alliance of Museums in Los Angeles in May. Melanie, it was such an inspiration to get to work alongside you. and working with you always made me want to show up to be my best. And I'm really thankful that we're able to continue to collaborate on museum projects and do presentations. I'm so proud to have worked with you, and thank you for all that you've done. And this host here is Noelle Kahanu. Noelle is the director of the Museum Studies program at the University of Hawaii, and she is also a longtime colleague of mine. Noelle is currently the president of the Western Museums Association. And Noelle holds a very, very special place in my career because 7 years ago, I had an idea to bring legal programming to small museums that didn't have their own legal counsel. It was called Small Museum Legal Toolkit, and it was a proposal that I did to the Western Museums Association. I guess my proposal must have sounded like a sales pitch or something because they were skeptical. But Noelle vouched for me, and Noelle made my goal come true of bringing legal programming to small museums without borders. And so that was a high point for me back in my career. And a few years after that, Noelle encouraged me to run for the board of the Western Museums Association. And so today I'm very proud to serve alongside Noelle. Noelle is this year's president, and thank you so much, Noelle, for supporting my career.
Saving our bylaws. Thank you.
And folks, this is Karen Kosasa. Karen, folks, some of you may know that I am Hawaii's only museum legal expert. There's not very many of us in the country. I would probably estimate around 400 or so, if that. Northern State has more expertise in formal training than I do on museum-specific legal issues. And I owe my expertise to Karen Kosasa. Because Karen was the former director of museum studies at UH, and she was also my mentor as a law student. After I graduated, Karen did something truly incredible for me. Karen sponsored me to a 3-day program in San Francisco called Legal Issues in Museum Administration. And it was an incredible experience. And thank you, Karen, so much for that opportunity. I've always remembered it, and I look back on that as really the formative part of the beginning of my career as a museum legal expert. That really gave me the background and laid the foundation for me to build upon. And I'll always remember it. That trip led me to who I am today. I'll always remember your kindness. Thank you for always being one of the biggest champions of my museum legal career. Thank you. And again, folks, I apologize for behind the slides. There's me and Noelle. We were presenting in Arizona in 2024, and there's Karen. Next is a very special friend of mine, Jesse Kunishige. Jesse couldn't be here today. He lives on the Big Island. He couldn't catch his flight because he caught a cold, but he's a good friend of mine. He lives on the Big Island, and unfortunately, he can't be here with us today. But in my former role as general counsel, I hired Jesse as land management officer to manage some property on the Big Island. And today it has been one of the best hiring decisions that I've ever made because Jesse was dedicated, he was competent, and resourceful. He was so dedicated that on some nights he would sleep in his truck in the valley while attending to the project that couldn't be left alone. And today Jesse is like family to me whenever I visit the Big Island. Our relationship has evolved from a work relationship to a very close friendship, even though we're not on the same line. Jesse, I appreciate you and I love you, and thank you for being here. And next close are my close personal friends, Paul and Danielle. Paul and Danielle are one of the most amazing couples that I know. Paul is a rock star librarian, and he manages the audio-video collection at the Hawaii State Public Library. And Danielle is literally the Laura Croft of the plant world. She travels the world finding new plants and solving problems in the plant world, and then she washes the mud off of her boots and then gives presentations to her colleagues. I met Paul in 2008, my first year of law school, on my very first day. Law school was a drastic change for me in my environment, and I didn't really feel comfortable in law school, but Paul was my very first friend in law school. And I remember one day, Paul was passing by my desk in the library, and he saw my gym bag, and he asked if I was going to work out, and I said, yeah. So he invited me to work out with him, and that struck up our friendship. And Paul, you've been my friend since day one of my legal career, and I just want you to know that you mean the world to me. I love you, Paul, and thank you so much for your friendship through these years. And folks, next I want to introduce you all to a very special person, Noriko Namiki. Noriko is the executive director of the YWCA, and I am so proud to have her as a client. She was among the most dedicated, most diligent, thorough, and tenacious executives I have ever advised. What started out as a simple assignment to review and revise some documents turned into a wonderful friendship. And presently, Noriko and I are in the early stages of planning an educational workshop for Hawaii's nonprofit executives. Noriko, I feel so blessed to have been of service to the YWCA, and I'm looking forward to our next project that will bring great value to the nonprofit community here in Hawaii. I am so grateful for your friendship, Noriko. Thank you so much. And next is the Oda family. That's my daughter Maya, and she's pictured there in her highest Christmas spirits, as you can tell. And she lives in California. She's turning 25 this year, and she has literally been my inspiration for my entire career. So is my family. I want to recognize my mother, Carol, my brothers, Jared, Kristen, and Shane, my wonderful niece, Emmy, who's here with us tonight, and my sister-in-laws, Christy and Beverly. I know I can always count on you folks, and my successes are your successes. Thank you so much for the way that you show up, and I'm really grateful for you all. Thank you. Oh, that's my brother. So that's my brother Kristen's wedding. He's the one in the glasses, and he's a Volkswagen enthusiast. And so he had a bunch of props, and that Volkswagen van was one of them. And so, next is a friend and client of mine, Kilin Reece. Kilin is a master luthier, which means a builder of stringed instruments, and he's the founder of the Kealakai Center for Pacific Strings and the Hawaii String Museum. His museum tells Hawaii's story through music and instruments. He produced Raya Helm's new album, and he's preparing to go on tour with her, so he's at rehearsal tonight and couldn't be here. I've never met a man with more passion for his craft than Kilin. He is an inspiration, and I'm proud to call him. And next we have Brandianne. Brandianne is the author of an upcoming work called Ancestral Spiral. And Ancestral Spiral is a very unique project that I've been proud to be a part of. It's a treatise on plants, but it also weaves education, poetry, and art into card form that is easy to take anywhere. It takes the concept of micro-learning, where you're able to learn something new in spare moments of time, and elevates it into micro-enrichment, where you not only feed your mind, but you also feed your soul. And Brandy is also in the process of building her own publishing house as well, too. Brandy, I'm so glad to be a part of your dream, and I'm so proud of how far we've come on your project, and thanks for being a part of it. And next is Roeca Shin. Roeca Shin is Hawaii's premier civil defense law firm. And tonight, we have James Ferguson here with us tonight, and his wife, Rachel. Now, James is the original legal alchemist. James used to teach how to consciously create your life rather than letting life happen to you and just accepting whatever it gives. James taught me that last year when we were in trial together. And we had a case where other lawyers said this case is unwinnable. But James taught me the power of consciously creating the outcome, and with doing that with a lot of hard work, we obtained a jury verdict in our favor, our client Melanie. And I want to let you folks know that in addition to being one of the sharpest litigators in the state, James is also a published author. He's collected his teachings about being an active architect of your own life and wrote a book called I Am a Conscious Creator. It's an amazing book for anyone who wants to level up in their health, their career, their finances, or their relationships. And it is such a fantastic read that I wanted to give a copy to everyone here tonight. So, along with your goodie bags, there's a book, and it's by James Ferguson. It is my gift to you all. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Thank you.
And next we have, and next I'd like to introduce you to George Russell. George is an incredibly prolific and talented director and aerial cinematographer. George and I have been working together on various projects for 8 years now, maybe? Around there. George is among the friendliest people you ever meet, and he's always happy to share his knowledge with others. George is currently working on a short film that brings new perspective to human interaction, visibility, nostalgia, and memory. It's a work in progress and it will be filmed entirely here in Hawaii. George, I'm really excited for your new project, and I feel really blessed to have had your confidence all these years. More than a client, you're a trusted friend, and I can always depend on you. And I can't wait for your new project. Thank you. Next, folks, I'd like to introduce you to Wendi, Mariko, and Takushi. Wendi is a very gifted graphic designer, and she's also an events promoter and the founder of Obsidian Productions. Now, when I was in the early stages of planning the firm and I was thinking about the mission and philosophy that I wanted to embody, I knew that the logo had to be representative of that. It had to be a visual representation of the firm's philosophy and its unique approach to the practice of law, so I asked Wendi to help me design the logo. No scales, no books, no gavel, none of that typical legal logo stuff that you see on the back of phone books and billboards and stuff like that. And what Wendi came up with was so incredibly creative, it surpassed all of my expectations and it fit perfectly. Wendi took inspiration from the magician card of the tarot deck. When we hear the word magician, we think trickery, sleight of hand, illusion, but in the tarot deck, the magician represents manifestation and the power to create, the power to manifest your ideas into tangible things. The magician in the tarot deck has all 4 suits available at his disposal on the table. Cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. And from these materials, he is able to fashion anything he desires. One hand is pointing to the heavens, and the other hand is pointing to the earth, signifying unity, as above, so below. Wendi took the philosophy of my firm and she merged it with the meaning of the magician in the tarot deck to brilliantly create Invenio Legal Studio's logo. And Wendi, you were my friend in good times and bad, and I'm truly grateful for your friendship. And I'm truly grateful for your brilliance in taking my firm's philosophy and translating it into such a beautiful visual symbol so perfectly. Thank you, Wendi. And last is Chelsea Yagong. We finally come to the end of the alphabet. Chelsea isn't here with us tonight, but if it weren't for her, we would not be gathered here tonight. Because the firm, at least as we know today, would not exist. Chelsea was my ex-girlfriend of 2.5 years, and while we were together, she not only encouraged me to take the lead and start my own firm, but she also helped me as well. During those months when I was really getting clear on the mission and philosophy of the firm, Chelsea was my thought partner and my sounding board every single day. She offered me her perspective and her input, and she really helped me to create the identity of the firm. Chelsea's imprint is in the wasabi green color of the logo on my business cards and on the pens. Now, I've never started up a law firm before, and I didn't know how much work it would be. Chelsea helped me with the logistics. She lived on the Big Island, so our relationship was long distance. I traveled there, she traveled here. But while I was working on the nuts and bolts and building the foundation of the Invenio Legal Studio, she would fly over and help me out. And while I was trying to set up the books, the filing systems, client project trackers, a million documents and other logistical things that I never even knew I had to do, Chelsea was running around town, doing my errands for me, doing my shopping. She would cook meals for me so I could keep working. She organized my house, my kitchen. She even washed and folded my laundry so I had that much more time to focus on building for her. And she just took care of everything so I could concentrate on the firm. And I've never felt that kind of support before. During the time that we were together, Chelsea was as much of a part of the Invenio Legal Studio as I was. She's a part of Invenio Legal Studio's origin story. And what I've learned is that sometimes you can love someone, and sometimes for whatever reason things just don't work out, and the relationship dies. But the appreciation for that person not only survives, but it stays intact. It continues just as strong as ever. Chelsea, I'm so grateful for you. I'm appreciative of all the time that we shared, and I'm grateful for you helping me to lay the foundation that allowed all of us to be gathered here today. And I appreciate all of you here tonight as well too. And finally, I would like to thank Joy Amane and the wonderful staff here for hosting us in the Cupola Gallery. Our servers, Justin and Crystal, thank you so much. And it's wonderful having you here. Thank you.